Well, the gale force winds have arrived at St Helens, but thankfully the rain has held off. It's not a bad night for Saints against Wigan, and the prize, the biggest of them all in the Engage Super League, it's a place in the grand final. Leeds already there, and St Helens have been there for the past 3 years. Helens is the fullback. Gardner, Gidley, Eastman, Melly, Price and Long. Pretty much at full strength, St Helens, with the absence of Jason Kalis that they've had all year, and Kalis will be heading home at the end of this season. It's Graham, Cunningham, Pulatua now in the front row, Flannery, Wilkin and Gilmore, the loose forward. And on the bench, Roby, Hargreaves, Clough and Farsavalu. The coach is Mick Potter. Late change for Wigan. Phelps is the fullback, Roberts, Gleeson, Carmont, Richards, Tompkins and Luluai. Up front, Coley, Riddell, Prescott, Tompkins, Joel Tompkins that is, Hansen and O'Loughlin the skipper. And on the bench, this is where the change is. Fielden, Paliacina, Moss up now, because Michael McAlorum has failed a fitness test on the pitch in the last 5 minutes, and Flanagan, and the coach is Brian Noble. Well, they will be disrupted by that for a while, because it means that number 9 there, just going through the middle of the screen, Mark Riddell will have to stay on the field for a little bit longer than was planned. And St Helens head-to-head with Wigan for the first time at this level since 2004. Since then, they've met in Super League 16 times. Saints have won 13, they've drawn 1, which means that Wigan haven't had too much success. But on the right of your screen there, Sean O'Loughlin. He is the only survivor of the last win here against Wigan, 28 points to 4 in September 2003. The players are on the way, the atmosphere is electric. St Helens against Wigan, and Old Trafford is at stake. Great crowd inside here, and Wigan have travelled in numbers as well. Lee Gilmore leaving for Huddersfield at the end of this season. Sean Long leaving for Hull FC at the end of this year. And he wants to go out with a bang here tonight. Now, before the match, there will be a minute's silence before we start. First of all, for former St Helens secretary Jeff Sutcliffe, who died this week after a long illness. He had 25 years at Knowsley Road, did Jeff Sutcliffe. He organised no less than 7 Wembley trips for the club, plus the 1999 Grand Final at Old Trafford. He was 74 years of age. He sadly leaves a wife, Dilys, daughters Helen and Joanne, grandchildren Sarah, Robin, Peter, Ross, Alice and Jenny. But also at this time, the St Helens Club wished to remember the victims of the tsunami that struck the Pacific island of Samoa this week. St Helens stars Tony Pulatua and Francis Melly have played International Rugby League for Samoa. Mari Farsavalu has played Rugby Union internationally for Samoa, and Wigan's George Carmont and Harrison Hansen have also represented Samoa in last year's Rugby League World Cup. So a minute's silence coming up in memory of a great stalwart of the club, and also all the people who are suffering in the Pacific island of Samoa. And that will also be mentioned now by the ground announcer here.
By the tsunami in the Pacific Islands. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we hope that they find peace during this devastating time.
Steve Ganson is the man in the middle, the match referee, as St Helens aim for a 4th successive grand final. But despite finishing 2nd on the ladder, Wigan 6th, they've won just 2 of 6 since Kyle Eastman's last-minute touchdown helped them beat Wigan here, 10 points to 6 in July. It's a fascinating contest that is about to unfold in front of us. The wind will play a part, I'm sure, and Wigan will have that at their backs in the first half. And so stand by for some booming kicks from Pat Richards. It's Tompkins who's underneath the kickoff. And here comes Paul Prescott. And Gilmore was the first in for the first tackle of this semi-final.
So important that they get a feel of the ball, and also for the defensive side to make sure they're getting some very, very big hits. And you see the youngster there, Kyle Eastman. It's amazing in the build-up to this game that we have not mentioned the quality and the skill of both those two youngsters. Of course, Sam Tompkins on the Wigan side and the Kyle Eastman on St Helens. Expect big things from these two.
The Wigan skipper, Sean O'Loughlin, is trapped on the 4th tackle for the Wigan Warriors. Still midway inside their own half of the field as the ball is played to Riddell. Here goes Coley. And Coley is grounded 6 metres short of halfway. Riddell again. It'll come to O'Loughlin. He'll spin it wide to Lulawai. And Lulawai with a kick underneath the wing. And Wellens it is who traps it with the boot. And the chase was pretty good from Wigan.
Well, that rather surprised me that they did keep the ball down there, but I would have thought that it would have some advantage to Wigan, maybe to test both the St Helens wingers, Gardner and Melly, and especially the fullback Paul Wellens. But amazingly, Thomas Lulawai kept it very low indeed.
James Graham has the football for St Helens, one of 3 nominees for the Man of Steel award, which will be issued on Monday at a gala dinner in Manchester. Here is Eastman down the wing. Here is Eastman down the wing. Clear distance. Nelly is there. And Nelly will go over for the first try for Wigan. Awful defence from Wigan. But quicksilver attack from St Helens. Eastman underneath the challenges. Nelly was there in support. And Nelly over in the corner. It's first blood to St Helens. Loves these playoff matches, doesn't he, Francis Melly?
St Helens took full advantage of a very slow blindside defence, and the man that we've only just been talking about, Kyle Eastman, the youngster, shows the pace to send in the winger. Tompkins couldn't get to him. They were a little bit slack in sorting themselves out. And look at the hairstyle bobbing in the wind, but it doesn't matter, he's got the 4. Tremendous start for the home team.
Very intelligent and constructed try. They managed to get the ball wide to Wilkin, and it was the quick play of the ball. That's what it all centred around. A one-on-one low tackle by one player on another gives the side a chance to get that quick play of the ball, and then you give a chance to somebody like Eastman, and he shows what magic he has in those boots.
Well, the St Helens supporters singing early, and it's Kyle Eastman who created the try with the break. And can he add the extras? No, the wind is in his face. But St Helens lead by 4 points to 0.
You've got to be alert to score in these big games, and you can see there that Tompkins very slow to just get himself organised. And also, you have Joel Tompkins, his brother, that just turned his back sufficient for Eastman to make them pay. Nice finish from Melly.
I think in any game, what you want to do is start well, and you want to start well by completing your sets. Wigan completed their first set, and they would have been delighted with that. St Helens will be absolutely over the moon with the way they've scored that try. There are 2 players in that Wigan side that I think are going to be targeted tonight. Sam Tompkins is one, only because he's relatively inexperienced, and they want to take some juice out of him, and they ran at him then and got a quick play of the ball for Eastman to be able to slide through. The other player now, I think, will be a tactical change. I think they'll play plenty at Mark Riddell, because with McAlorum taken out of the side at the last minute, I think Riddell now, St Helens will try to work him over and take a lot of gas out of him very, very early.
Riddell goes down at the ruck then. He just couldn't manage to stay on his feet. There is the Wigan hooker making his way back into the defensive line this time, and Long with a kick up the middle. And it stands up eventually for Cameron Phelps. It's a good chase from St Helens.
Was it ever? 9 players, no less. He had to be very careful. He was very wary, wasn't he, Cameron Phelps there? But that really is a huge boost when you score early in a big game like this. And Wigan realise they've just got to regroup, just get through the systems, and as Sean McRae has mentioned, make sure that they get through the sets of 6, a good kick and chase. It won't be easy for them in this first half.
Uncharted territory this for the Wigan Warriors. They have not been behind during the first half in the playoffs so far. O'Loughlin with a solid run on the last tackle. Gidley with the tackle. There is Lulawai sliding it down the line and inviting Richards to chase. Wellens has got a bit of work to do here, but Wellens does it very well.
Brilliant. Sometimes it looks so casual, doesn't it? Oh, that was high. Hasn't been seen by Steve Ganson. Richards certainly got a left arm swinging there. Here it is, definitely over the shoulder, but interfering in the play. The ball now has relieved the pressure, and it is a problem with this fella, Andy Coley. He's worked so well throughout the year when ball in hand, but he comes up with silly penalties so often.
Here comes Eastman again. Joel Tompkins has missed him once more. Sam Tompkins and Prescott see to it. Sorry, it was the skipper O'Loughlin. He sees to it that Eastman does not make the progress this time. Here is Gilmore. Cunningham waits at dummy half. Leon Price pops it up to Pulatua. Pulatua getting a special mention from his coach McPotty yesterday, with Kalis being out of the side virtually throughout the season. Pulatua really has stood up lately, as indeed has James Graham, and the replacements off the bench now that they're fit, Hargreaves and Fasavalu. It's long. He gets it away to Flannery. Flannery bounces off Carmont, can't get away from Harrison Hansen. This is the last tackle for St Helens. Up it goes off the boot of Long. And, whoops, Amos Roberts, I think he made a play at that. I think that touched him. I think this will be a goal line dropout.
Well, he's disagreeing him. The winger, Roberts, he said he never got anywhere near it. But you can see, I think it just brushed it slightly. Oh, did he? Oh, this is a big call. Did he catch it? Yeah, I think it just caught him there.
Well, it's a difference between a tap restart on the 20, which the referee has decided, having had a word in his ear from Ian Smith, the video referee, that that's how it should be. Roberts breathing a sigh of relief, because it might easily have been a goal line dropout there. Here is the first penalty for Wigan now. That's one apiece in the penalties.
Well, that was amazing. The entire Wigan side after this and just said, well, hang on, we wanted to get on with it. Arms were raised, and Mr. Ganson says, yes, you are absolutely spot on.
Up to halfway with the penalty from the boot of Pat Richards. Gleeson. Oh! Wilkin shot out of the line then. Tremendous tackle on Joel Tompkins. And Helens are piling in. The ball's gone backwards. Thomas Lulawai has picked up the pieces.
It's hits like that that just lift the game, and the crowd certainly did on that occasion. First real opportunity now for the Warriors. Got to be patient.
Riddell, and here is Lulawai. Pops the ball up, and Harrison Hansen on the diagonal run was watched all the way by James Graham. Here it is now with Coley. He finds Sam Tompkins. Tompkins then back to Martin Gleeson. Gilmore was waiting for him. Last tackle here for Wigan, 10 metres away. Sam Tompkins slides the kick in. Long to the rescue. Goal line dropout. Wigan apply the pressure.
Good kick by the youngster Sam Tompkins. Just the right speed, but well looked after, wasn't it, by Sean Long? He had to have 2 goes at it. It bounced, just hit his nose. That gave him the opportunity, and he knows that that was very close indeed.
This is always testing time, isn't it? A repeat set when you've got to defend your try line. These two sides are very, very good at defending their try line. That's why they are where they are today and playing in this game to get for the winner to go to Old Trafford. But they're going to be tested because both sides also have wonderful online attack. They can attack so well inside the 20. They have an array of stars that can come up with any sort of trick.
And they're inside the 20 now, Wigan, with Cameron Phelps. It goes over the top to Pat Richards. Oh, here's a decision for Ian Smith.
I think he's got it down before he goes over the whitewash. The leg may have been up, but I don't think it touches.
He's not very convincing with the body language.
Oh, it just brushes the whitewash.
Long to the rescue.
It certainly is. Look at that. It's the red boot that has just hit the whitewash, and this will be wiped off.
I think he's lost it anyway.
Oh, I think he had fingertip control, Eddie.
Sean Long put himself under a lot of pressure going into this game, Eddie, with some of the comments that he's made in his autobiography. He started, though, in the first 9 minutes of this game by backing up those words with some pretty good actions. Denied the ball in the in-goal, that forced a goal-line dropout, and he's just saved a try for his team.
He has. Richards' body language wasn't convincing, and that big screen will tell its story in a second. The try's denied, and St Helens get the feed at the scrum.
Okay, it's turned down by the video ref tonight, Ian Smith, but that will have certainly lifted the spirits of the Warriors. They knew that they needed to give some sort of pressure and apply it to the opposition, and they've done that. It was a beautiful long ball out wide, and Richards just denied by the man that's going to feed the scrum now.
Wigan, it's a long time since they met Saints with so much at stake in a match. For the majority of these Super League years, you know, St Helens really have looked down on Wigan. This one, before the match, was being tipped to go either way. It's a 4-point lead that St Helens have built in the opening 9 minutes of this match. Wigan have won the last 2 weeks in the playoffs by building big leads early. Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers. They led on each occasion 18-0, then managed to hold off a fight back from the opposition. Well, they've got to come from behind here tonight. Long with the kick.
It's a good one as well. Kicking early, they went on the fourth rather than the last, and look at that chase. Not just 1 or 2. You used to get 8 or 9 down there.
Amos Roberts for Wigan. Sean Long asking for reinforcements over on the right-hand side of the Wigan defence. It's a penalty for offside.
I'm going to make that point that both sides were really testing the official Steve Ganson by getting out of the blocks, and it was virtually pushing them in a position where it's one-out football all the time. It's like going back into the real olden days when it was only a 5-metre rule.
Joe Tompkins. Cunningham came in a little bit late then with the possible flop. Tompkins, that's Sam Tompkins to Paul Prescott. And Wigan inside the 20-metre mark now on only the second tackle. Riddell. Short ball to O'Loughlin, but Graham was waiting. The trap was sprung. They've inched closer, though, have Wigan. This is Luluai. Luluai to Tompkins, a little juggle. Oh, and a high shot then from Leon Price, was it? No, the referee says play on.
Well, it appeared he went over the shoulder. Just shook the youngster up slightly.
Prescott again.
Oh, that's a big error. Well, that's a shame because he's had a very, very good season as the youngster Paul Prescott. Just trying to offload in heavy traffic. Oh, that was a big hit. Can't really afford to do that. They've thrown away a good position.
Kylie's been very alert then, wasn't he? Here's Eddie Gardner now for St Helens. Shouldered by O'Loughlin, finished off by Prescott.
And you can tell that both sides have thrown some of the heaviest punches to start with by the fact that it's been outside backs for both Wigan and St Helens who've been carrying the ball in the last few minutes. There must be already a degree of fatigue for 1 or 2 of the players out there. This is what happens in a big game. You've got to handle that kick out on the full.
It is from Wilkin, who has been very public in the last 24 hours. He does not agree, he says, with the playoff system. He believes that Leeds Rhinos are the champions already of the Super League. John, I'm sorry, but in 1998 things changed, and the champions will be decided under the lights at Old Trafford next week. And of course John Wilkin been part and parcel of the Super League playoffs for a number of years, but he plainly doesn't like it.
Well, he's right to his own decision, but I'm with you, Eddie. It has proved to be a huge success, as will this one, but who is going to be? I must say that Wigan are playing with a lot of composure at the moment. There's no panic apart from that offload from Paul Prescott.
Who has the ball now, and he plays it to Riddell. It's a scampering run from Riddell, and it was behind Joel Tompkins. It missed O'Loughlin, and Wigan just losing a bit of momentum there.
You saw the disadvantage of having the wind behind you in rugby league. It's okay when you want to kick the ball, but in passing it becomes far more difficult, and the ball drifts away and in front of the man receiving it.
This is O'Loughlin with a dink up into the air, and well claimed by Francis Melly, and brilliantly offloaded to Kyle Eastman.
Did well, realised that there was too many defenders there. Gleeson was just in front. Could have opted, we know he's got the speed to try to go around him, but he made sure that it was safety first.
Let's say Francis Melly looks very dangerous tonight. He's already scored the try.
And again, Wigan, just like Saints had been, very quick out of those blocks. Crowd underneath us here, they're making the official know.
Scampering little run from Sean Long. Short pass then to Wilkin. He's downed by the tackle from Sam Tompkins.
It had to be a good one as well, because Roberts did well. He made sure that Wilkin couldn't throw out a long pass here on that left-hand side.
Leon Price under pressure from Sam Tompkins. Poor kick into the arms of Cameron Phelps. Down to Bill.
Eddie, Leon Price with a pretty bizarre problem at the moment. He can't find a pair of boots that seem to satisfy him. The conditioner has been on with two different pairs of boots. Stan Wall is running around, the kit man is running around with a shoehorn trying to sort things out, and I don't think they've still cured the problem.
Martin Gleeson, once of St Helens, of course, and Leon Price's footwork causing a problem to him. Carmont, meanwhile, offloads to Riddell. He's already done 15 minutes, Mark Riddell. He'll have to do a lot more than that tonight with no McIlorum. Remember, a very late change.
Wigan are very fortunate, though, Eddie, to have Thomas Luluai playing at scrum half, a World Cup winner as a hooker, so they have the advantage of switching him there. Tompkins, Sam, I would imagine, will go to scrum half, and Sean O'Loughlin possibly as a stand-up. They don't lose too much, the other sides would be worse affected.
Here's Kyle Eastman, a contender with Sam Tompkins for the Young Player of the Year. Wilkin.
That's a great run. You can see that they're really getting over the advantage now, Saints, and that quick short pass from the play of the ball. We haven't seen a solo run from this fella, the big man, Kieran Cunningham. Graham's ready.
Cunningham hands it on to Long. Long then gives it wide and finds Flannery. Flannery does the offload and gives it to Price. He finds Cunningham. Here is Wilkin. Wilkin thinking about a kick through, and Wigan hanging off him. Last tackle for St Helens. It's Gilmore. Eastmond down the line, and that's too deep. Well, Wigan were hit with a whirlwind from this fellow in the opening couple of minutes, and Melly went over for the try after only two, but they've weathered the storm, Sean.
Well, they have, because I think St Helens' kicking game has been relatively poor. Most of the kicks have either gone, there's a couple have gone dead, there's one or two have found Cameron Phelps in fairly good position, and then Amos Roberts has returned the ball. Pat Richards comes in. They've picked up a couple of penalties off the back of that, so Wigan's engine room haven't really been working overtime. But it's pretty even. I think the scoreline is just a reflection of the fact that Helens got away to a slightly better start than Wigan. But both sides have settled down now, and you can see they're getting some shape. They're managing to get some quicker play of the balls. There's a little bit of intensity has just started to drop from this game, and I suspect it could open up at some stage.
O'Loughlin for Wigan, Stuart Fielden on for Paul Prescott. When will we see Feka Paliasina, who scored that barnstorming try last week? High kick from Tompkins isn't the best. It's straight down the throat of Paul Wellens.
The idea was there, but they really should be going towards the wingers rather than get it run down the throat of this fella, Paul Wellens. Well,
it's a troublesome wind. Here he comes. He's about to come on, Paliasina. It's a troublesome wind, Steve-O. It's troublesome for St Helens. They're playing into the teeth of it. And it's very difficult for Wigan to know what's going on with it at their backs. And Price, he's not having problem with the wind. He's having trouble with the footwear.
Well, I'm glad it's no problem with the wind, as you say, Eddie, and let's hope they sort it out. I can't believe that they've actually, a player could go into this game having problems with footwear.
This is Eastmond again, and he is halted by Roberts.
Well, if I could defend the player, he probably didn't go in with a problem. I suspect something's happened during the game when he's been on. He's either lost a stud or there's pressure coming through on the boot, or something will have happened, something will have torn inside there, and I'm sure that otherwise it would have been sorted out before they kicked off.
Well, he's now in a pair of natty red ones, is Leon Price, as Cameron Phelps runs it back towards him, and Long is there with him and with Wilkin to bring it down. There they are. There, the new boots for Leon. Red for St Helens.
I must say that Mick Potter, you know, he must be very, very happy with the way the kick and chase is going. And we can see there, Mark Riddell, very slow, getting back from that defensive line. He's really got through a lot of work.
Brian Noble, 300 games as a first-team coach today. Could be his last in charge of Wigan. It still has to be confirmed about his future, but the indications are that Brian Noble will not be at Wigan in 2010. It's a decent little kick from Thomas Lulawai. Just turning St Helens around. This fellow took the game against Hull KR last week by the scruff of the neck late on, didn't he?
Certainly did, and the kicking game has been pretty good from him as well throughout this season. He knows that there's just the same ability with this wind. The ball can just be bobbing up, try to force the error.
Just try and pull out.
And the opening 19 minutes has been so torrid. None of the players out there are rushing.
All good.
This is going to be a game of chess. It's a waiting game throughout. They know how important it is.
Okay, Kieran.
So many experienced players, but they'll be going through their minds as well. They just do not want to come up with an error. It could be the difference. It could stop them from going down towards Old Trafford.
Kieran Cunningham, dummy half for Saints. Here's Chris Flannery. 5 grand finals on the other side of the globe. On either side of the globe, rather, in the past 7 years. Leon Price, he knows about a grand final or two as well. Aiming for a record 9th time at Old Trafford for Bradford and St Helens. This is James Graham. St Helens looking to get a bit of pace going here with Pulatua. That's the last tackle.
Be interesting to see when Mick Potter brings out James Roby into the second quarter of this first half. As I mentioned, we have not seen a run from Kieran Cunningham. He's quite happy, just control it. The big fella, well, they've stopped him on this occasion. Flannery going low.
And it's Cameron Phelps who is at dummy half for Wigan. Riddell now. O'Loughlin. Halted 10 metres inside the St Helens half of the field. Tompkins slides the kick down the line, but that is not the best angle, and it finds its way into touch on the 4th tackle that was.
Now just look at these players after the kick from Tompkins. They're not rushing. They know that there is plenty of time, but it is taking an amazing amount of time for them to get anywhere near to set up for the scrum.
I was just going to say, Steve, I think this plays into St Helens' hands, because I think both times now that Wigan have kicked for touch and found touch, I've looked at some of the Wigan players, and I don't think that's a tactic they really want to employ. I think they want to keep the ball in play, put them into a corner, say Francis Mell into a corner, make them work hard to get out, and then try to force an error, or at least then get some field position if St Helens are able to get to a kick.
It's very hard to break St Helens down defensively here, but I would have thought Martin Gleeson in the right centre position is one of the best hopes of doing it. OK, he'll be playing against Kyle Eastman, but he's looked dangerous in the last 2 weeks we've seen him. He's been heavily involved in this game, and he still has a little bit of magic left in those boots. I think Wigan's hope of breaking the line either in the centre where they've tried with O'Loughlin and the big fellas, or through Martin Gleeson.
Wilkin going up the middle, plays it quickly to Leon Price, who bumps away from Palliasina. He finds Gidley. And Gidley goes down on the 4th tackle. Here's Leon Price again. Now James Graham with a bit of room. And Long similar. Wilkin almost through the gap. Important tackle by Riddell, that was. Last tackle here for St Helens. Cunningham. Long. And the kick. Well, that's going way over the dead ball line.
An amazing tactic, really. Quick shot of Mick Potter. He didn't look too concerned, but you know, with this wind into their faces, get it high and it'll just hang there.
Well, not since 2003 have St Helens failed to win a trophy in a Super League season. Mick Potter won't want that in this, his first season in charge at Knowsley Road. Of course, at the moment, he is the reigning coach of the year from his deeds of daring do at the Catalan Dragons.
Good work by Kieran Cunningham there. There's only one way to stop the big fella, isn't it? Palliasina, and that's by the ankles. Good offload.
Here's Palliasina again. From a standing start, though, he's not as effective as if he hits the ball at pace. And Wilkin and Graham then dealt with the threat. Here is Sam Tompkins now. Martin Gleeson. Solid run from Gleeson, but solid defence from Price and Eastman. Last tackle here for Wigan. Tompkins that will carry forward on the wind. Gardner's after this. Richards has missed it, and Carmont has got it, and as Carmont scored for Wigan, he'll put it down, and it will then be the decision for Ian Smith, the video referee. A possible knock-on he's asking for, and onside. Well, onside's okay.
That's fine. But it did surprise me that no one actually went for this. I mean, look at that. Gardner is rooted to the ground. There is no way in the world that you can even attempt to go it. Does it brush the forearms of Pat Richards? That's what they've got to find out. But what on earth was Gardner doing? I mean, he just didn't even want to lift himself. Great leap.
I think with the ball still moving in the air, that's probably why neither of these players is able to get a hand on it.
Well, it
It's a
looks as though
swirling wind, isn't it?
it looks as though he's gone
Chaos.
straight through it, that he's missed it. If that's the case, then Carmont, he's definitely behind Pat Richards.
Well, that won't tell us anything, that one.
Well, this try will be given if Ian Smith, the video referee, deems that he hasn't touched it. Has it just touched the forearm? Oh, it's a difficult call, this.
You can't see that that's touched him. Amos Roberts missed one in his own goal area. It must be very difficult to catch a hard kick, get your hands on it even.
This will be given
Carmont takes it in.
If he goes for the touchdown, and that's what he's going to look at. And the Wigan fans, they have the realisation that Mr. Ian Smith is going to be in the affirmative. It could be the TRY that the Warriors needed.
Well, it is a try for George Carmont in the last 3 weeks of the playoffs. If he gives it, and he does. George Carmont pulls Wigan level. A nod from Brian Noble. George Carmont tries in both playoffs so far, as I say, tries in 2 visits to St Helens last season, was in the Dream Team last year, 14 tries. That's number 15 for 2009.
The very good tactic of kicking it high, and it was a good one from Tompkins, Sam that is. But that was a feeble attempt by Adi Gardner. Never even left the ground. Richards, will he add?
He does, the 2 points. He nearly put that into the training ground beyond the old pavilion here, but Wigan lead by 6 points to 4 at Knowsley Road. Contentious, what do you say?
Well, you put it high, you take your look. I mean, the number of blue shirts here, Richards is one, Hansen, Carmont, Phelps is in the view. There were too many blue jerseys, not enough red and white ones. And the bounce went in Wigan's favour, that's given them the lead.
But you can't afford to do anything like that, Eddie. I mean, Adi Gardner made a very... Oh, this is going to be dodgy.
Sam Tompkins was the first to react. Great kick-off from St Helens. It hit the bar, and Sam Tompkins... Look at this.
Just shows you've got to be alert, and that's what this youngster is. Swooped on it, Sam Tompkins.
Amazing, isn't it, though? You get a try at one end, and then you get a little bit of drama at the other.
Well, the drama is for St Helens is the fact that Brian Noble will say, hey, his confidence must be absolutely shot now with that poor effort, and there he is. He'll be saying, let's pepper Adi Gardner.
There's a little warning as well for Wigan, because they're going to be facing this wind in the second half, and it really is playing havoc for both sides. I think if you're going to go up and you're going to take a ball that's in the air, Stevie, you've got to be confident. You've really got to take the bull by the horns, haven't you?
You've got to jump, especially when you know you've got a tall man like Pat Richards coming to you. At least you've got a chance. At least you've got a chance just to knock him out of the way. As it turned out, by the time they made the impact, Gardner was on the deck.
Leon Price picked up that loose pass. Roby is on for Kieran Cunningham. There he is at dummy half. And here comes Gilmore.
Well, we see the change of tactics now that we've got Roby out there.
Graham.
As we mentioned, for many, many years, Saints have been the masters at running from dummy half, but he's quite happy to just feed it off. That touched him, did it? It has now. He's taken it over. Well, some indecision there. It was a neat and difficult kick from Sean Long, and Richards was in all sorts of trouble.
Just break it up on me,
He wanted to let it go over.
It's all right.
Did it touch him in the first instance anyway? I think it did. It hit the knee, and then he realised at the very last moment, did Richards, that he better go for this. And it bobs up, very difficult, and there's no option. He loses his balance.
Okay, inside, lads.
I think we've seen a number of times tonight, haven't we, already, where the wind does play havoc, and really it's the outside defenders have got
Look out,
some
here
options.
comes St Helens with Wellens. Tackled on the 10-metre line. Melly comes infield, then takes them on himself, backs himself, does Francis Melly. 2 metres away from the line, St Helens. That kick from Long could be crucial. Price! Leon Price! Wigan force him back.
Great work from Flanagan, got right underneath.
Roby. Long pops it up to James Graham on the charge. Bounces off a couple, still going, offloads to Roby. Good job that Roberts was there.
Was it ever? He breathes out, huge sigh of relief. Look at the way that Graham came to them. Bounced away, and when he offloaded, it was try time. He knew as well. He was out of position. He had to make sure he stopped that football.
St Helens turning the screw. 28 minutes gone. Long feeds the scrum. Roby from the back of it finds Price. He gets it to Wellens. Wellens then to Gidley. He steps out of Tompkins' challenge. Here is Aidy Gardner. Wigan having to muscle up in defence. How long can this defence stand firm? It is with Leon Price. Now Flannery. 2 tackles gone.
Graham's out wide. Will he come off Long?
It's with Price and Long. Long to Gilmore. Gilmore making precious metres forward. Eastman and Melly are out tight to this touchline. Wilkin at dummy half will go back in field to Long. Long then to Graham. Graham then to Price. Price then finds Roby. Good hit from Carmont. Leon Price down the short side with Flannery. He comes back this way, gives it to Wellens. Wellens then to Britt Hargreaves. They're lined up down the left. It's Gilmore. It's Gilmore over the top to Melly. Melly taking him on. Now then, it's another decision for Ian Smith.
Boy, how on earth has he got this down? How on earth has he got the ball down? He's not in there. He's not in touch there. His other foot is, though. I think his other foot, which is his right one, comes round the back. Gleeson's way down at the bottom. I think this may be marked off. It's an amazing effort. That's the right foot. Does it hit? Does it hit? Oh, maybe it's up.
What about his hand?
Has he got it down before the hand? Oh, it's 50-50 this one.
Benefit of doubt. What do you think?
Oh, I bet Mr. Ian Smith wished he'd just laid in bed this morning. I don't think I want this pressure.
I think his feet are okay. If he puts the ball in his hand on the line simultaneously, you do have to give the benefit to the try scorer, Eddie. And that's how it appears on that view.
Yeah, you're right.
That's an amazing effort.
But
Wigan's goal line defence today, I just thought was incredible there to deny St Helens. If he squeezed in here, well, he deserves a try. That is absolutely amazing what Francis Melly's done there.
Well, his boots up. I thought he'd hit the whitewash, but it hadn't. It just went up.
Well, is that hand down there on the last frame of that shot? I mean, dear me. It's slide rule time, isn't it?
Yep. And if it's 50-50, I'm with Phil. It probably will be given. But you can't see because of the corner post there. He reaches out now. One.
I don't think there's a... Now, look at that white boot there. That's his, isn't it? Is that on the line, or is that...
But I think from the other angle, it shows that he's up. It's going up, not going down.
Yeah, it is leaving the floor, isn't it?
But it's a massive call, this. It is a massive call. Francis Melly and the whole ground holding their breath. The try's denied. And it's the boots, it's the white boots that touch the line. That's the news that we're getting. His boot there is on the line. That's the shot that tells you it's on the line.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything more, could you? No try to either side already. Pat Richards, that got turned down. And now it's Francis Mellick, who was looking for the second of the game.
Well, Wigan, they survive. The goal line defence, the pressure. They lead 6-4, and we've got 10 minutes and a tad to half-time. All we expected more, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a great game of rugby. It's just individual brilliance, isn't it, that's getting people in the game and stopping people. You just see that goal line defence, as Phil Clark just said, has been terrific from Wigan, but it was almost individual effort by Francis Mellick that's changed the game again. Like it was Kyle Eastman at the start of the game, was just individually brilliant. But it was something I touched on before, I didn't quite finish off, was these outside defenders tonight are under enormous pressure, particularly the wingers. Because of the conditions out there, we've already seen Amos Roberts make a couple of decisions. He's got a couple right, he's got a couple wrong. We've seen Adi Gardner make a poor decision so far. We just saw Pat Richards very uncustomarily make a poor decision there where he played at a ball that he would probably normally let go. And that's the pressure caused by not only the occasion, but also the conditions they're playing under.
Wellens has it for St Helens as the Saints try and strike from deep with Gardner. Well, Lee Mossop has just flown back into the defensive line. He was warming up. There he is, number 24. He's warming up. He was 18th man 5 minutes before the game started. That ball has come free. Penalty to St Helens.
Good work by the touch judge, because Steve Ganson was just looking away to make sure that they were getting themselves sorted out. And Mossop certainly had a hand, the right one round the back. We'll see it. Yeah, it was sufficient.
But I think he's been badly done to there. His arms round the body, and I think John Wilkins has simply lost that. Anyway, it wasn't the view of the touch judge, the referee, or Steve-O. St Helens are in possession with Roby. And he finds Mauri Fasavalu.
Well, he's one of the reasons, Eddie, why Saints have been this year the best team in the 10 minutes before half-time. The impact that Fasavalu and Roby and the rest of the St Helens, as they up the tempo here, as the half-time hooter sounds, this next 10 minutes, crucial for Wigan.
It comes to Price via Fasavalu. Here is Wellens. That's the fourth tackle. Wigan now defending their goal line yet again. Not the best pass. Fasavalu bounces off a couple. Paliasina is in there to halt him. There's a bit of beef out there, isn't there? Paliasina and Fasavalu. Fasavalu still going. How long before he should have called hell, the referee? They're right on the goal line, Saints. It's with Long, and Long will slide the kick over the top, but Richards deals with the threat.
It looked like the inside pass was on there. I thought he may have just done it and tried to bluff the Wigan defence. Oh, and they're giving away a penalty. Flannery messing around there. Clough also involved, just pushed Flannery away. It was sufficient.
You get the feeling, don't you, that this is going to be a game that will be won by an inch rather than a mile tonight, the way it's gone?
Yeah, and I'm with Sean McRae in as much that he's going to take a piece of brilliance to break it down, because, to be fair to both sides, Steve Ganson is really struggling to give them plenty of room to show their skills. That's how keen both defences are going into each other.
That really did look forward, I must say, that one. It did from this angle anyway. What say you?
Yep, I agree.
Luluai to O'Loughlin. Here is Cameron Phelps again. Price and Wilkin deal with the threat, and the padded Fasavalu. He's got bandage on the left thigh, he's got bandage on the left arm. Been in the wars a little bit lately as Mauri Fasavalu. Mossop hits the deck on the fourth tackle. Wigan just over halfway. Luluai. Paliasina. Good on his feet then.
Yeah, nice step.
Last one for Wigan.
And as we mentioned, you know, Brian Noble was saying, look, I want you to be standing back. You've got to get a running start.
Here we go again. It's another test of this for Gardner. Oof. He was in no man's land then.
His confidence is shot, and that's the reason why that man, Brian Noble, has said, let's pepper him, let's give him some more to think about. He's very unsettled indeed.
Another strong run from Francis Melly, but net by the tackle of Lee Mossop. Roby. Hargreaves, good hit from Flanagan. Gets a pat on the back from Lee Mossop for his pains. Fasavalu. He's released that ball.
That was a definite pass. The officials got it wrong, I feel.
He's given offside, I think.
Yeah, he said it was stripped by Wigan, and he was in front actually then when the ball comes out. So
no, you can see he's deliberately offloaded that. That has gone well against the Warriors.
Okay, mate. Here we are.
Watch his arm. Deliberately tries to flip it.
It did come off the Wigan player.
Yeah, but he played the man. It wasn't the other way around. And surely you can't.
Here's Wilkin anyway. St Helens are not arguing about that decision. Wigan might. Roby to Long. Long pops the ball up there, and it's Paul Clough. Paul Clough doing really well. Roby to Long. Long goes up the middle.
First time he's asked a question, but they were equal to the task, and he's run right into the big fella, Palestina.
Fasavalu keeping it alive. St Helens taking the chances. Welland spinning out of one. Can't get away from that one from Thomas Lulawai. It's the last tackle here for Saints. It's with Long. Fires the pass out wide. Misses everybody. Nelly's picked it up. 6 to go, says the referee.
It was touched by Amos Roberts. He was actually knocked on, and that's the right. Gleeson's got a real bad knock in the face as well. He's not well.
Here is Clough. Bounces off Lulawai. St Helens turning the screw as we approach half-time.
They've got to attack Gleeson's side, surely, and they've picked it.
Fasavalu. Held short of the line. Gleeson asking for reinforcements this way. Long, Sean Long gets the ball down for St Helens. Does he? Another decision for Ian Smith.
Tackle, just see if he's shot. It's on the line.
Well, a few moments before this, it was a first fray from Long that took on the defence. Has he squeezed it in? I think he has.
Or is he short?
Well, he's short to start with, but does he roll over? Has he got the momentum to go? Watch the apex of the ball. Does it hit the whitewash? Yes, it does. Only just. Just for a split second, but that's sufficient. Oh, boy. Back to you, Ian Smith. He'll need some tranquilizers, will the video ref today.
I think the job's got too hard at it. How can a video referee... It's impossible, isn't it?
Well, it's handy for Steve Ganson. He's just handed it up. He says, go on, Ian
It's harder
Smith,
than being a referee.
you
He
make
used
the
to say,
decision.
who'd be a ref? Who'd be a video ref?
I mean, he's short to start with, but momentum takes it over. And we still go back to that same old story, benefit of the doubt. That's down as far as I'm concerned. Now it goes up, and that should be sufficient for Mr. Smith. Ian, that is.
I wonder if it hits the ground, Steve-O, and it actually goes backwards off Sean Long.
Well, yeah, but he's still got
like
control
his head and
of
his
it.
arm are on or over the line there,
that
Eddie.
looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll be given, but I thought the other one would have been given as well for Francis Melly, so how do we know? It's up to the nervous man, Ian Smith, and I'm sure he's shaking. He should do, because this is vital.
That's exactly the same time frame as that shot there.
Yep, that's there.
There's more benefit of the doubt in that, though, isn't there, really? If you're going to award a try, you're going to give it for that.
The try's given for Sean Long. He got there, but only just. Well, he's come into this match under a bit of pressure. His autobiography is being serialised in a national newspaper. He said some, well, interesting things about certain people, and he's delivered.
Yeah, it was a long pass here that you see that Amos Roberts really should have just thrown his body onto it. Roberts tries to pick it up on the bounce, and then he just throws the dummy. As I say, he's only had 2 attacks against this Wigan defence, and this is the second, and he's come up trumps. He has come up with a vital one. He knows it's his final game here. He has plied his trade at this ground for many, many years.
Kyle Eastman adds the extras. St Helens are back in front. 10-6.
What a game. It's got everything. Pressure, power, shake of the head. Not a big shake, only a small one.
Didn't like that decision.
No, he did. We said before the game started, Eddie, that he's a big game player, isn't he, Sean Long? He likes to be there at the forefront.
The video referee decided that Sean Long got over on the very first effort of getting that ball over the line and then was rolled backwards. So the try is given. 10-6, St Helens. Very, very difficult decisions tonight for Ian Smith. First try for Sean Long since the 12th of June against the Castleford Tigers. And a vital try here in this playoff semi-final. The winner tonight will be going to Old Trafford next Saturday to take on the champions, the Leeds Rhinos. Roby's gone for a 40-20 against the wind. Oh, it's bounced perfectly for Gardner. Last tackle here for St Helens.
And that shows you the advantage. If you do kick on early, you've got another chance of it. It's got to be a kick through, surely. Shocker.
Gardner stabbed it through. Phelps was there for Wigan.
We're not quite appreciating just how difficult it is to kick the ball. We saw what effect it had when it was heading for Richards or even the sideline, and then somebody pulled it back, didn't they, on a string into St Helens' hands. Very difficult to kick or even anticipate where the ball is going to end up when it has been kicked.
Well, last night we saw Leeds take a stranglehold of the match against the Catalan Dragons at Headingley just before half-time. St Helens trying to do exactly the same here in the final minute of the first 40, and they're going to get another set of 6.
What about that copybook tackle there from Fasavalou?
That's a knock-on. Forward pass from Sam Tompkins, trying to extricate the arms and get the ball away, but put it forward.
To be fair to the youngster, there was no support. Every Wigan player was just standing around and saying, well, you know, go to ground, play. But he was looking for the opportunity.
Now then,
that's why he's going to be a great player.
But this gives St Helens a huge opportunity. 43 seconds. And look where they are, inside the Wigan half. And they're in possession with Leon Price. O'Loughlin gets to him. Oh, penalty for the flop.
I think they might take it into the corner. I don't think they'll go for the 2. And Long will put it into the corner.
Yes, they're going for it. Desperate times for Brian Noble and his Wigan team here. 20 seconds and counting. Long. St Helens are the prize fighters in this. If anyone can score at this stage of the game, it is St Helens. And they're going to get one more go.
It's got to be a kick.
Drop goal.
Long has stabbed back. He's going for the drop goal, was it? No. They found Gidley instead. That was a forward pass. Forward pass. Nick Potter with a quizzical look. Well, 10-6, Wigan lead. These are the playoffs in the Engage Super League, and this is the match of the playoffs in 2009 so far. Grand final to come. Massive prize at stake for the winners. Melly's try gave St Helens the lead in the second minute. Wigan battled back. Carmont's try. Richards' goal, 6-4. Then Long's try. Eastman's goal. It's 10-6 at half-time. Who wants Old Trafford? We'll find out in the next 40. Well, what's the last 9 months been about in the Engage Super League? It's been about this. The grand final next Saturday, 5:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. They kick off at 6. Leeds are already there and St Helens are halfway there. Will it be them or Wigan? Well, the next 40 minutes will tell us here at Nosey Road, because this is the situation we have at half-time. St Helens 10, Wigan Warriors 6. An excellent game, though, and Nick Potter, as I said during the course of the game, no St Helens coach in 6 years has ended the season without a trophy in the cabinet, and he is desperate, I'm sure, to get to Old Trafford for the grand final, to at least give his team a shot of that. Down the corridor, Brian Noble is, well, he's making this speech for the 300th time of his career, not to Wigan, but to Wigan today, but previously, of course, with the Bradford Bulls. Half-time, just setting a few things up, maybe just emphasising a couple of points and hoping that his team can come home with the bacon. Excellent match, though, isn't it? And some very, very difficult decisions have been made, Steve-O, in that first half.
Certainly have, Eddie, but this was sheer quality, wasn't it? Kyle Eastman, look at the acceleration there. They caught Wigan on that short blind side. Melly, he's done this so often, in for it. That made it 4-0. And then Pat Richards, he has this wiped off by Ian Smith. I think he got it right, just touched the whitewash. But Sam Tompkins, the high kick, Mr. Gardner will not want to see this again. He's rooted, and in fact, he falls back on his backside, and George Carman says, we'll take the lead. That was converted. That made it 6-4 to the Warriors. And then it was Francis Melly's turn. Boy, took an eternity to decide on this one. But that shot there says that he touched the whitewash. That was no try. And then only on the second occasion that Sean Long has taken on the defence, he sneaks over. Another difficult decision. But that made it 10-6 at half-time.
Yes, 10-6 and all to play for in the second half. Sean, it's all that we thought it might be, and maybe a little bit more. It's a great contest.
It's a great contest under the conditions. I think people sitting in their armchairs at home watching this won't appreciate just how tough this game is sometimes in terms of the wind out there, Eddie. It's very difficult from a kicking perspective, very difficult from a catching perspective, but more difficult from a passing point of view. That's why we haven't seen a lot of the ball go through the hands. We're seeing a long ball from, say, the dummy half to a first receiver. I think Brian Noble there was probably even talking about this, and probably they're talking about shortening the passes up. I'm sure both coaches will have done this. They'll talk about shorten the passes up, push through the holes, because the long ball is actually there for an intercept because it's holding up in the wind. And it's very, very difficult to get these to get the passing game right.
Is it more difficult to play with the wind at your backs, as Wigan have been in the first half, or with the wind in your face, as St Helens have been? Because each kick has been different from both sides. Wigan haven't really put it up yet, have they?
I think that it's up to the expertise of the players. That determines how difficult it is, because it's hard to say which one's harder than the other. You just have to have players that can adjust very, very quickly. I suspect what's happening on the field, it's a bit of a swirling type of breeze. Sometimes it drops down, sometimes it's at your back, sometimes it's hitting you from the side. And players are having difficulty in adjusting to that. Therefore, the game's fairly tight. And that's why the defensive attributes of both sides have been terrific. I think St Helens have come up with 2 missed tackles in one half of rugby league. Wigan are 11 missed tackles. Well, that's, you know, that's just tremendous defence. Their online defence has been very, very special.
Catalan Dragons gave Leeds Rhinos a real scare last night, a real run for their money, but having watched the opening 40 minutes here, you can understand why Gary Hetherington and Brian McClellan got their heads together and said, let Wigan go to St Helens and sort it out.
Oh, I would have. I think everybody would have done that, and we're seeing it was a great game last night. We're seeing another great game here tonight, which just sets it up wonderfully well for next Saturday at Old Trafford. No matter who's there, whether it's Wigan or St Helens, because both of these sides have played well enough to win this game in the first 40 minutes. But this is the money half now. This is where it all counts.
Yeah, this is desperation time. This is the season for either of these two clubs. Now then, we're going to Old Trafford. Do you fancy going along with 9 of your friends? That's the competition we've got running for you during this weekend. We have teamed up with Iron Brew, sponsors of the Super League, for one lucky winner, the sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports, that is, for one lucky winner and 9 friends to experience the grand final at Old Trafford next Saturday. The atmosphere will be electric when the two finalists clash. It's the ultimate prize and your chance to be there. Up for grabs. It's a VIP grand final experience. It includes paid for travel to and from the game for you and 9 pals on the day, as well as hospitality at the ground and a signed shirt for the winners. All you need to do is go to www.skysports.com/grand final and answer the following question. Which team won last year's grand final? Was it St Helens, was it Leeds, or was it Wigan? A, B or C? And just enter the competition on the website, and we look forward to seeing you there if you are the winners. One of these two will be there as well. Will it be Saints? Will it be Wigan? 40 minutes and a season's work is at stake. players' nerves will be jangling, so too will be the coaches, and Brian Noble has said his piece and has left them to their own devices. 40 minutes to decide who's going to Old Trafford, and we're in grand final season. It's the Cooperative Championships big day tomorrow. Keighley against Oldham, 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 3 to decide who is promoted from Championship 1 with Dewsbury, and then the Cooperative Championship will be decided between either Barrow or Halifax. That's at 5 in the same place. And talking of grand finals, it is the Reserve and Academy grand final season as well. Wigan won the Reserve Academy grand final last week. They beat St Helens. Today, their under-18s academy went to Wakefield, and Wakefield won by 30 points to 4. Just chatting to John Keir during the half-time here. He's absolutely thrilled with that. The man of the match, apparently, was Wakefield's Kane Southernwood. So well done to the Wildcats youngsters. It's the Wigan senior players now and the Saints senior players who have the chance of getting to Old Trafford, and the next 40 minutes will decide. And well, where would your money be running, Steve-O, at this point in time?
Well, you'd have to say the St Helens have the advantage in the second half in regards to that strong wind. I was disappointed with Wigan that they didn't utilise it as much. In fact, they scored 1 try from it, and then after that they only really kicked to that corner to Hedy Gardner, who's looked a little bit sort of undecided over a few things. That's a good ball. Look at the speed of this kid.
Oh, and he gets the ball away to Francis Melly, and Melly is big and Melly is strong. But Wigan have got the ball back, and Eastman is flat out in back play, by the way. And it's a scrum down. It was from the knock on the forward. I think Eastman has had the wind taken out of his sails completely. What went on here? Oh, it was just a shoulder from Amos Roberts.
Yeah, it was.
Nothing untoward, but very painful for young Kyle Eastman.
Well, this will be a bitter blow to the Saints, because as you could see there, it was a beautiful break, wasn't it? Just put the shoulder charge in. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing untowards, but let's hope it is just had the wind taken out of him. It was a big impact.
A nominee, of course, for Young Player of the Year, Kyle Eastman. So too Sam Tompkins, and the third member of the nomination is Richard Myler of Salford, or Warrington in 2010, as he will be. Wilkin flying out of the line. Well, the St Helens supporters underneath us think they're on the way to Old Trafford. Here's Mark Flanagan. He's on his way to West Tigers next year in the NRL.
The sad loss as well to this game was that touch. It's back to 6. It was.
Yes, referee wipes the tackle count down on a word from the touch judge on the far side. 0 tackle. So another set of 6 for Wigan as Prescott drives it forward. Well, Leon Price is having all sorts of trouble with the footwear. He was in 1 pair early on. They've changed about 6 times. He's now in a pair. Well, it's not a pair. It's in the white and the red. He's got another one like that at home. Here's Carmont. Carmont as well, but no, he doesn't. Phelps slipped. The Saints have got it back.
Brian Noble will be furious over that. And he had every right to be. They got a second set of 6, got themselves in a good position. Carmont just desperately trying to offload. I don't think he was that close to the touchline.
No, he just tried to keep the movement going, didn't he? So it's St Helens who are in possession with Roby, now with Flannery. And Flannery gets St Helens to halfway.
It must be a ploy, you know. Mick Potter has told the players at the dummy half, we've seen very little running.
This is interesting, I find, Steve-O, this kicking from both sides with this wind at their backs.
Keeping
Wigan,
it low,
in the first half, they kept the ball under the wind, apart from once, and they got the try. Long has just done exactly the same there, slid it underneath the wind. Maybe they're frightened to death it'll be carried out on the full or something. Here's Mossop.
Well, it was worth a try for Wigan, wasn't it, in that first half, when Gardner made a real meal of it. Now, the big question is that can Wigan muscle up, get over the halfway line? They need to do that. Make sure that their kick and chase game is good.
With Riddell off the field and Luluai at the acting halfback, Eddie, we're going to be effective for one ball player short. Here's a brilliant top to Richards.
Richards is taking on Wellens. Wellens is up to the task. Quick play the ball on the last. Looping pass to Cameron Phelps. Here is Sam Tompkins, wide to Harrison Hansen. Harrison Hansen gives it back to young Tompkins. Tompkins over the top to Gleeson. Gleeson keeps it going. It comes back. Down to the in-goal area. Gardner, that was Fielden who kicked that.
And it wasn't a bad one either, but I'm not so sure that Brian Noble will be happy. They really should have had someone there. It's a quick tap on the 20. And the big fellas are lining up.
Well, one player who isn't happy is Sean O'Loughlin. He's doing the majority of the tackling for Wigan, Eddie. And Wigan at times somehow need to keep him fresh because he has to be the brains when in possession to find a way to unlock Centel's defence. Luluai is one option, but O'Loughlin needs to be the second. And if he spends too long in defensive mindset, he won't have the energy to do it.
Big hit there by Prescott.
Long for St Helens, back on the inside to Farsavalou, brushes off one, gets it away. Flannery on the break for St Helens. Great tackle, Cameron Phelps.
Had to be as well. He'd gone for broke. Got to be a kick, surely.
Gidley to Long, looping pass. Oh, Price a knock on.
Well, it was worth the gamble. It wasn't a good pass, was it? Price maybe would have been better trying to get the foot to the ball. But he's having trouble with that foot boy out anyway. But I thought they would have opted for the kick into the corner. Wigan's defence was struggling to get themselves sorted out.
Mentioned at half-time, didn't we, about the difficulty in throwing that long pass. St Helens today have thrown a couple of those where it's taken a long time to get from player one to player two. And that does help the defensive pattern of the other side. But that was a great example where Sean Long's tried to throw a long ball to Leon Price and it just didn't come off. The conditions make it very difficult to throw those sort of long passes.
And with the defences so strong on either side, you just think to yourself, it's going to be a kick that's going to put them away. And that is poor play yet again.
Prescott almost got it from O'Loughlin's pass. Instead, it's Paul Clough who plays the ball here to Roby. He finds Wilkin. Wilkin up the middle. Here comes Gidley. He slips the net from Tompkins. Great pass back on the inside to Gardner.
Did well to cover. He needs a quick play the ball, but they can't. They took the gamble. Carman was all over him.
Long pops it up to Farsavalou. He only knows one way, and that's forward. Roby waits dummy half. Will give it, and Clough. Oh, he might have got that down. No, it's held up, says the referee, Steve Ganson.
Good position as well by the man with the whistle. It was very close, wasn't it? Look at Phelps. That is a try-saver. Unbelievable.
Great decision from Ganson. Long. St Helens will come again. This is Wilkin. It's Wellens, I beg your pardon. I'm getting him mixed up tonight a bit, aren't I? Roby. 10 metres out. Long. Here is Price. Here is Eastman. And Eastman's bundled into touch by ferocious Wigan defence.
Well, they asked the questions, and at the moment, Wigan have the answers, Eddie. A series of multiple choice ones thrown at them, and each time the Wigan defenders are selecting the right player, closing down the option, and hanging on in there. It's been St Helens with the full throttle down to start this second half.
Here's Andy Coley.
Saints look as if it's next try wins. They've got that mindset. Such is the pace and intensity they're trying to play this game. And there's the error.
The error comes from Prescott. Pressure on the Wigan defenders. Pressure from St Helens. He's just saw Hargreaves coming.
Not only that, it's the third time that Wigan have coughed up the possession. On this occasion, it's way downfield. The other two were pretty close to the Saints line. Will Price do something spectacular?
Might be Roby. Mossop shot out of the scrum to cut him down. Leon Price looking both ways. Gives it then to Wilkin.
Looks like Lulawai's on the deck. He's just getting himself up back in the defence there. He's a big groggy.
Roby and Long, and this is Clough. And Wigan stand firm again, and he's got blood, as you see, off the forehead, has Thomas Lulawai. Roby, Graham! Wigan repel that attack for the time being.
The light on the left.
And that's where they're going with Long. And wide they go to Melly! He's going to get in this time. Francis Melly. Second try for the New Zealander and the Samoan international Francis Melly. They were caught short on numbers out wide with Wigan. And Francis Melly over in the corner. The mistake from Paul Prescott, ever so expensive.
Certainly was the knock-on, and they've paid a very, very huge price. This was Kyle Eastman. Look at that, he got right into it, and then they took it back, and then they worked very hard, and look at it, he took his eyes just a moment off the ball, and he was sufficient. We shouted, look at this. We knew there was a little bit left, and it was shocking by Amos Roberts. They just did not get themselves sorted out. It was a gift in the end. He was left in no man's land with Roberts. It's mistakes like this, hesitation. He didn't know where it was going. Melly did.
Francis Melly's try just extends the lead. Amos Roberts caught in the headlights, and Kyle Eastman now. But he's got the wind in his favour for this one, but he has missed it. 14-6. For the first time, there's more than just one score between them.
Look at that, Roberts in no man's land. Once you get yourself in between, it's always a huge problem. He didn't go under the sticks, he did in the corner.
Amos Roberts, he missed out in the grand final in a 9-year NRL career. And he's trying to make it to Old Trafford at the first time of asking, but at the moment it's St Helens who are taking a step down Matt Busby way. Bill.
Eddie Saints targeted that Wigan right-hand side in the build-up to that try because they'd noticed that Thomas Lulawai was really still trying to recover from the after effects of the big hit he took when he went in awkwardly in the tackle. He was crocked, and so too just slightly was Martin Gleeson, who seems to have been carrying a shoulder injury which he picked up some time ago. Has had a couple of visits from the physio on the run as well. So one or two players out there just starting to show the wear and tear of this really gruelling game.
Roby's gone for a 40-20, but it's straight into the arms of Pat Richards. He funneled back, did the winger.
Anticipated it well, didn't it? Just like a radar, straight into the breadbasket.
Tompkins to Carmont.
Well, a few years ago, that would have been a penalty. Sean Long got his hand in between the legs.
Wigan haven't had the ball in St Helens half for some significant period. Now, they won't get there for many more times with 3 tackles left in this. They have to be more creative here now. I know there's a patient approach, still a long time to go, but they need some variety to ask some questions and threaten St Helens here.
Riddell finds O'Loughlin. He finds Lulawai. Lulawai goes himself on the last. Riddell again looking left and right, comes left with Tompkins, stabs the ball towards the in-goal area, and Wellens will take it over the dead ball line.
Nice option.
Wigan will get the ball back from the goal line dropout.
Yeah, nice option by Sam Tompkins. Took a shoulder charge as well, but he covered it, didn't he? He may not be the fastest fullback, but when it comes to brains, he's spot on. And this youngster, Sam Tompkins, and there's another problem. But Thomas Lulawai.
This is a blow for Wigan.
Yeah. It's one thing getting your head split open, a little bit of claret, but when it's a leg problem.
Well, he's ever present this year is Thomas Lulawai. And this is his 100th Wigan appearance. But he's limping a bit heavily at the moment. He's key to the Wigan ambition, though. Hands it on there to O'Loughlin. Goes wide to Mark Flanagan.
No advantage, man.
O'Loughlin to Luluai again. Here is Coley.
Well, it's about time now that Sam Tompkins asked a few questions himself.
Well, Tompkins is on the ball now. Pops it back to Phelps. Phelps stabs it down the line, but it wasn't the best. They're saying, Wigan, that St Helens got a touch on that, but I don't know where they saw that from.
No, he just shielded it, didn't he? Gardner, Phelps, and both Richards looked at the official, looked at the touch judge.
I've checked with the video, it's correct.
I don't think he touches it. Or did Roby stab at it at the impact?
Okay, mate. All right.
No.
Okay.
It was away before Roby got to it.
Okay.
Just something backing up what Phil Clark said earlier, is that Wigan are not going to get that many opportunities inside St Helens half. When they get in there, you can afford to be a bit patient. They were patient in the previous set and got a repeat set. I just think that sort of play from Cameron Phelps just shows a little bit of catch-up rugby league when you don't need to play it. The scoreline really is still close enough to win. Plenty of time left on the clock, but you need to spend time in there and put pressure on. And this sort of thing, a penalty now to St Helens, just eases the pressure.
Yeah, just a bit of frustration coming into it, and there's no in the world that Wilkin could get up and play the ball, and he knows it is Brian Noble. He also realises that perhaps when it comes to making decisions, St Helens have the upper hand, mainly due to they can see when a Wigan player, like in the last try, that the Wigan player was down, he was a bit groggy, and they were very slow to pack that right-hand side.
15 minutes of this second half gone, and Long in possession. Now it's Tony Pulatua. Great run from the big fellow. And St Helens on the front foot in the Wigan danger zone. Long, back it comes on the inside to Flannery. Good change of direction. They're asking for a knock-on. It's not forthcoming from Steve Ganson. This is Roby. Stabs the ball to the in-goal area, and that's not the best.
Idea was good. A little bit too strong with the weight there, and that's good work by Sam Tompkins. Quick tap, but good hit.
Good hit by Price.
Well, was he tackled with inside the 10, and he's got him for a penalty anyway, having a second go at it. Well, he takes a quick tap, and
Come on.
well, he went back to the 10.
It's the second push on the grounded player that the referee has penalised him for.
At first, I thought that Price had not made the 10, but he did make the 10 and then moved forward. They have to create something a little bit different than just this one drive and then try to get the link working.
Good ball from O'Loughlin to Mossop. O'Loughlin is at dummy half now. Here is Thomas Luluai, and this is Andy Coley.
The one thing that has been missing from this Wigan outfit tonight has been the ability to utilise dummy runners. Someone coming on that second phase.
This is Gleeson. And Gleeson goes down. And the Saints know all about him, of course. Riddell, Coley, Palliacina hit that at pace.
Now
not as much pace as last week at Hull KR.
Will we see Phelps chiming in now?
Last one, Tompkins, stab again to the in-goal area. Gardner takes it over the line. It's another set of 6 for Wigan. They're applying the pressure, but they're getting no reward.
And full credit as well to Eddie Gardner. Didn't have the best first half, but his position has been excellent. Got it away under pressure from Pat Richards.
A try from Eddie Gardner in the grand final qualifier against Leeds last year. That was 38 points to 10 in St Helens' favour. This is a lot closer tonight, 14-6. Wellens with the dropout. Considering the wind that maybe is at their backs, or is it a swirling wind? Well, there wasn't much length on that, and Wigan back midway inside the St Helens half of the field on the first tackle.
Well, they scored, you know, from a goal line drop last week at Hull Kings Rovers. They went to the centre of the field as they've done here, came back and found the chances on the left-hand side.
They need the support play, though. It hasn't been all that brilliant tonight.
Luluai. Gleeson, a couple of players out of the defensive line. O'Loughlin trying to skip his way through. Sean O'Loughlin.
That's better.
Riddell. Here's Luluai again. Now it's with Tompkins. Carmont, if they can get it wide to Richards, there's danger here, but Gleeson, he nearly gave himself up then.
He was thinking about coming back on the inside, and it's not the final finish that Brian Noble needed.
Carmont, Tompkins. Down to the in-goal area, flick back, still back. Cameron Phillips knock on.
What a golden opportunity. The majority of the Saints defence, they were all crowded underneath the sticks. It was a good chip forward. Luluwai got it away, and Phelps just had to reach back for it.
And I think it's just making a point here. St Helens' defence is that good. Wigan's only way of scoring today has been through a kick. Again, that looked like the way through the line. They've missed only 2 tackles and made almost 200. Defensively, they've raised the bar. They're also playing some good rugby. They've passed the ball around. It's been very hard to score against St Helens, and Wigan still trying. They have to score next to if they want to win it.
Coley was high on Gilmore. St Helens do not like that.
Kieran Cunningham didn't like it either, and I'm not so sure that the man at the bottom of the heap, Lee Gilmore, did. Well, the impact was on the shoulder and across the chest, but the finish right into the face. And we mentioned it early in the game, didn't we, that Andy Coley is a rugged, tough player, and he gets through a lot of work, but his ability to give away silly penalties could really cost the Warriors any chance of snatching this game. Saints will be in no rush to take this.
Come up off the shoulder. Yes. Yeah, okay, all right. I'll speak to him in a minute. All right, no, don't move on. Okay. John!
Well, Steve Ganson's never shy of producing a card if it's necessary, but I think he got the report from the touch judge. It started on the shoulder.
Mate, it's a huge game and I appreciate that. But come up off the shoulder, that's what saved you. Okay, it's going on report so someone else can have a look at it. Be very careful.
It's on report. But if Wigan get to Old Trafford, Andy Coley will face a worrying week.
No, I think it's okay, Eddie, because the first impact, okay, it turned into a penalty. And there's blood all over the place, pouring out of John Wilkin. Now, Saints, they will not panic. They will drive and get as near as they can. They'll just try to turn the tourniquet, cut off the lifeblood of this Wigan outfit.
Polituya gets to his feet, plays it to Cunningham. Cunningham has a little run. It's halted by Coley. And forced back. Penalty count's really low. And I tell you what, Leeds will be sitting at home and watching this, and it's all going according to plan. Steve-O has mentioned that there's plenty of blood flowing, and whoever wins this has got to face the Rhinos at Old Trafford next week. Graham, back it comes. This is Price. Last one here for St Helens, 13 metres away. They're going down the short side with Wilkin. It's picked up behind his own line. He does well. Roberts does well. He's good on his feet, Roberts. That's probably the best run of the match from him.
Tremendous stuff. They need it as well. It needs quick play of the ball, try to get into good position. Now there's no one at home at full back. Wellens is trotting back very slowly. He's not gone too deep, anticipating maybe there may be a chip over the top.
Carmon flicks it to Pat Richards. Richards is running laterally. Now he'll try and straighten it up, but the St Helens defence is there. It's the grand final next Saturday. We've been waiting for it for 9 months, and it is finally upon us. 08 444 777 113, or the website for any information you might need. It's the biggest night of the year. If you've never been there before, it is a cracking occasion.
And talking about cracking occasion,
nope, that's a bit of afters.
Coley certainly got one as well. Cunningham didn't miss either, and it surprised me that Steve Ganson hasn't had a little word with Mr. Cunningham. He had a word with Coley earlier, something similar.
Here's Riddell. Now Luluwai. Here's Sam Tompkins. Switches the direction then brilliantly. Lovely sidestep. Penalty to Wigan. Flannery would not let him get up and play that ball quickly.
They're losing the plot slightly, and he knows Brian Noble. Just going to make the point that Noble must send a message out and say, come on, the people with the skills, the likes of Thomas Luluwai and Sam Tompkins, they've got to ask more than just a couple of questions. They've got to take matters into their own hands. It's going to take something special.
Here's Joel Tompkins. Thomas Luluai, we don't know the extent of that injury. He's obviously trying to run it off. This is Riddell and Sam Tompkins. He steps inside Tompkins. He's cut down by Pulatua and Graham. It's a great run from the youngster. This is Riddell. Riddell over the top and finds Luluai. Luluai, back it goes, and this is Cameron Phelps. Great St Helens defence now.
Real composure in that Saints defence as well.
Flanagan.
Moving as a unit. Look at that. One line.
Luluai, Paliasina. Trying to barge his way through. Thought about an offload for a second or two. Riddell. Riddell to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin gives it to Luluai. Goes out and tries and support the run. Stab behind him. Great work by Kyle Eastman.
Certainly was, but that is a wonderful chip into the in-goal area. He has come to the rescue. Thomas Luluai. And previous to that was a real dinking run from Sam Tompkins. But applying that pressure.
Fourth goal line dropout here for St Helens to defend. 17 to go. Here is Coley. Offloads it to Sam Tompkins. Cunningham misses it. They get him in the end.
He's trying his damnedest though, isn't he, the youngster? He knows that the time's ticking away. They've got to come up with something.
Riddell. Riddell wants to get to his feet, does now. Phelps bullets the pass to Luluai, goes wide then to O'Loughlin. Further wide it goes to Mark Flanagan. Great ball from Flanagan. Roberts for Wigan. It's now with Gleeson. Here is Coley. Pops the ball back to Luluai. Sam Tompkins. Tompkins then goes back inside. Wonderful St Helens defence. Draws applause from this crowd. Phelps. Luluai. Coley. Gleeson. O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin wide and Roberts. Big hit by Roberts. On Roberts by Paul Wellens.
And Graham was there to help. That really was a try saver.
Flanagan's kick off the post and Wellens to the rescue again.
Oh, smooth and cool was that from Paul Wellens. And look at the defence. Wellens is over there to help out with Graham. And then when the kick came through, Wellens actually anticipated that it was going to actually hit the post. He slowed down. He knew he was going for it. Tremendous stuff.
If Wigan have got any punches left to throw, they better throw them right here, right now. This is their chance here now. The momentum, the enthusiasm, the energy levels is with Wigan. They have to force an error.
Cunningham to Graham. Graham hits that ball at pace. That's the last. Well, they've got the wind at their backs. We've been talking about it all night. What's the kick like here from Wellens? Not bad. Cameron Phelps did well to pick that out of the air. And the chase, but it's pretty good. A solid line of white jerseys.
You know, sometimes, Eddie, what happens in games, when you're behind on the scoreboard and you can't break a team down, there starts to be this feeling of, well, how are we going to win this match? And really all you need to do is keep persevering with what you've been doing well. They've built pressure then on the St Helens line. St Helens just come up with a couple of fabulous efforts, just one-on-one efforts where they've stopped Wigan from scoring. But Wigan have got to believe that if they keep persevering and building pressure, they will eventually crack this defence. What they don't want to do is go away from it.
O'Loughlin finds Joel Tompkins. Great defence from Wigan. Coley, here is O'Loughlin. Stabs that to the in-goal area. It'll be too deep, that.
Yeah, it's a wasted kick, really. And he knows it. Joel O'Loughlin. The seconds are eating away. And the Wigan faithful, and maybe the coach, Brian Noble, is thinking perhaps that something has to change very quickly indeed. It won't be easy because they'll just trundle it up. They'll go safety first. You'd have to say that Saints in the forwards, Eddie, has just taken control late in this game. They know what's needed.
Wilkin has run strongly all night, and he's got the scars of battle to prove it.
Yeah.
If he's not a fan of the playoffs, he's making a very good effort of them. This is Roby.
And I've also been impressed with Flannery as well. They've worked really, really hard.
Play on. Now the tackle's completed. That's number 4, Roby.
I wonder if they'll think about driving and going for a 1.
Cunningham's driving and going, looking for 4.
That's play on. It's gone backwards. That is play on.
No, it's a knock on, is it?
Well, that should have been play on as far as I'm concerned. It's squeezed out from Cunningham, who attempts to offload it. See how it goes backwards? Now that should have been play on. I can't see anyone else. Roby says, yeah, I haven't knocked on. Now then, they're going to be interesting to see who's going to get head and feed here.
I think Wigan are going to get the ball. The touch judge's opinion was that he lost the ball after the tackle had been completed. Although when we saw it on replay, I think he was wrong.
Kieran Cunningham, I think, said too much. I offloaded that. I offloaded it backwards.
Well, in my mind, he did, but last chance saloon maybe for Wigan. But can they get through this very strong defence?
Well, they've got to score from, what, 90 metres?
To be fair, it's been well disciplined, hasn't it? Remember, Huddersfield came here, they failed to score a try. Wigan have only notched 1. So Mick Potter has had them working overtime in defence.
Riddell, a little bit slow that to play the ball. Oh, that's a good pass. Oh, Coleman puts it down.
I can't believe it.
So close to the money ball from Tompkins, and Carmon just could not take this in. Oh.
The skill factor from Joel Tompkins, superb, followed by something not of the same level, and he knows it. A little nod to his mates.
I've got nothing. So you've got to hand signals, lads.
Beautiful stuff, wasn't it?
Not got anything, mate. Not got anything.
Oh, he had the opportunity, and he knows it as well. They were just a little bit stretched there.
Can you hear me, lads?
Just running repairs to Steve Ganson's microphone and receiver unit so as he can keep in touch with his 2 touch judges and the video referee, Ian Smith. He's called time off. I think the players will be happy with that. Just to suck in a bit of oxygen, take a drink on board.
You know, whether you win or lose this game, you look back at opportunities that you present, and something like that where George Carmon said, it's a wonderful pass from Joel Tompkins, and they're the sort of plays you're going to see now with only 12 minutes left on the clock. But if George Carmon takes that, I don't believe that Sean Long gets to him. He's got Pat Richards outside and probably only has to draw Paul Wellens in. And to me, that was not only a try, that would be a try under the post. And I think that's an opportunity they'll look at and say, well, there's one that we could have got. And that's the sort of thing we're doing. We're persevering, we're going to the line, we're making people tackle, we're trying to get our hands free in the tackle, and it's just little bits of skill like that that sometimes come off for you, and that can win or lose you a match.
You know, even if Wigan don't want to win this game, I think people like Brian Foley, who's been involved in the youth development at the club for over the last decade, will be delighted to see Sam Tompkins, Joel Tompkins, the second team you mentioned winning the grand final, the third team getting to the grand final. Wigan have done some pretty good stuff. I think Brian Foley and the people involved in the youth development at Wigan deserve some credit too for what they've achieved in the last few years.
Indeed so, and what have we got? We've got about 11 3/4 minutes, and is it the last 11 3/4 minutes of Brian Noble's Wigan career?
Well, we soon find out, perhaps, but it's come to that time where Wigan realise they've got to maybe go for the intercept, because the way that they've controlled it in the forwards, St. Helens, the forwards have been superb.
Eastman was nearly through. Lulawai did well to get hold of him. Gleeson helped out. This is Roby. St. Helens looking to book their place at Old Trafford in this set of 6. They're nearly there. It's Cunningham. Pops it up to Pulatua. Great leg strength from Pulatua. Cunningham weighing up the options, goes left, gives it to Graham. Graham then finds Wilkin. The defence from both sides tonight has been heroic.
Certainly has, and they'll feel it as well.
Graham.
You mentioned the fact that Leeds will be rubbing their hands because they had a very tough game as well yesterday.
Here's Sean Long. Jinking back inside Sean Long and held up just short.
He let go of it. I think you'll find Wigan have come up with a football.
Okay, wait.
Well, he went for broke.
Okay, wait.
And it cracked, didn't get over. But look at that defence. You know, you look at the back three for St Helens. Flannery, 25 tackles, Wilkin, 20, Gilmore, 21. That's where they've held sway. The mighty Saints, as the crowd are singing out loud, they can sense it.
And look at the way they're swarming in the tackle here, not letting Wigan breach them. It'll take a special play, and Joel Tompkins might just come up with it. Great ball back to Carmont. He's got Richards. Richards down the line. Richard! It's come up for him. It's come up for him. Unbelievable. The referee hands it upstairs again to Ian Smith. I thought that Pat Richards had blown it. I really thought he'd blown this chance. But I think he's come up trumps here.
Well, I was just about to scream out, why on earth is it kicked? But it looked as though he had the legs to squeeze in at the corner. But what about the pass from Joel Tompkins yet again? Carmont put it down on the first occasion. And Richards, he went for broke. It would have been a difficult decision because had Wellens taken him deliberately, this will be given.
No problem with that.
What an amazing turnaround.
And for your next trick, Paddy, please kick it from the sideline.
Well, he was tackled without the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
By Wellens.
It would have been interesting to say if he had lost possession there, because the ball finished up in the in-goal area. Wellens certainly takes him out. That would have been a penalty for sure.
They wouldn't be looking here at a penalty try, no, because they've got the ball down, haven't they?
No, he's got it down, that's fine.
He's checking the grounding. He's seeing whether Pat Richards actually knocked the ball on before the line.
No, it's a try, don't worry, and Richards knows it.
Yes, the try to Pat Richards, the try to Wigan. I said it needed a special play, and Joel Tompkins came up with it. And look at the Wigan supporters. They believe now that something is possible, and, well, if Richards does kick this conversion, well, hang on to your hats.
Yeah, certainly will, because it was superb play. You know, Wigan realised that Saints were just a little bit lackadaisical on that right-hand side in defence. Sean Long had his back to the attacking side, and by the time it turned away, they were advancing down that short blind side, and the pass from Joel Tompkins was superb.
Well, has anybody kicked a goal off the touchline tonight? I don't think so. Can Richards weave the magic? Oh, no, just the wrong side. So close, 14-10. Wigan so close, Saints so close to Old Trafford.
Brilliant. You can see there that Sean Long had not got himself fit, but this is one of the outstanding pieces of skill we've seen tonight. And so is this. I thought he'd blown it. I bet Ian Smith, the video referee, thought, oh no, not another one, but he did get it down. 4 points the difference.
And 9 minutes.
And 2 seconds remaining. This will be a deep kick. Wellens will not want to get it too high. He does not want to send it sailing dead in goal. He's kept it low. He's done the right thing.
And here come Wigan again in the shape of Harris and Hansen. They contested and won the first ever grand final in 1998 against Leeds. They actually went to 4 of the first 6, but they haven't been back since losing to Bradford in 2003, Wigan. St Helens, can they make it 4 in a row? And can we see a Leeds St Helens decider for the 3rd year in a row? Here they come again, the Wigan Warriors, with Carmont, but this time Long and Gardner snuff out the danger. Ups.
Oh, got away with it.
He did. Luluai. Wide they go to Gleeson.
And they've got to test their arm yet again. Don't go anywhere near that sideline. Gleeson knows it as well. Price says, is he tackled? Yes, said Ganson.
He's the last one. Luluai with the kick. Turns Paul Wellens around. The chase isn't bad. Now then, can Wigan force the error? 8 minutes and counting.
Well, they looked dead on the feet, didn't they, Eddie? But full credit to them. And to think that Joel Tompkins had the nerve and the audacity to come up with an inside pass that has brought about them a try that could very well turn the tables.
Familiar territory for Wigan. They lost by 4 points in last year's grand final qualifier. They're losing by 4 points here, and we're in the closing stages of the match as Price goes down on the last on halfway. Now what's the kick like from Sean Long? Not bad, but straight down the throat of Pat Richards. Back they come, Wigan.
Disappointing effort there from Sean Long.
Richards!
Oh, nearly away! That could have sealed it. Only Wellens was back.
Roberts, Flanagan. Well, one try away from the drama of extra time in the golden point. Here is O'Loughlin. Now it's Luluai. This is Tompkins. Great hit by Gardner.
Unbelievable. He took a huge gamble because if he could have stepped, there was a huge gap there. Gidley was very slow to cover up for him, which is not surprising. This has been one heck of a hard and tough game.
It's with Tompkins again. Now it's with Tompkins. The other one, Carmont. Richards stabs it through and gobbled up by Tony Pulatua. And Tompkins is saying that Pulatua was offside. Where did that ball come from before it arrived in the arms of Tony Pulatua?
Tell you what, he might have a point as well. Richards puts boot to ball. No, it doesn't. I think they thought that it ricocheted off Graham's leg, but it didn't. That's got to be a penalty. Oh, well, the referee is obviously making allowances that these sides, both sides are very tired indeed, and that they are.
Here goes Mari Farsavalu. Gleeson gets to him on the last.
You'd normally think that Saints would just wrap it up, take it nice and steady. Oh, he hesitated, but it's not a bad kick, is it, from Long on this occasion? Numbers there.
Great chase by Wellens. Here goes Cameron Phelps. 5.5 minutes of this semi-final to go. Phelps is hurt.
Stop the clock as the official.
Just have a look as we go.
He just went down awkward on the, I think it was his right elbow.
Time's off anyway, just wait.
It's all right. He just goes down on the elbow. Ooh, that does no good for your shoulder.
Time's off.
No good whatsoever.
Well, next Saturday will be the survival of the fittest. Leeds had a couple of problems, didn't they, last night, injury-wise, and I venture to suggest that either Saints or Wigan will go to Old Trafford with the odd bump or bruise.
And let's not forget, Eddie, this will be the first time that we'll have a grand final where both sides, and neither one of them have had a rest. They both have played this weekend, so it's all squared, it's all on the level playing field. But boy, this is rough and tough.
Thomas Luluai. He's not had the same cutting edge, has he, in this second half since he had that injury. O'Loughlin over the top. Oh, that's out on the full. No, it isn't. Roberts was after it. Now Wigan will race to this scrum.
They have to. They realise that he was put under a lot of pressure, and it turns out a good kick, doesn't it?
Referee calls time off. 4.5 minutes to go. Now then, Wigan will look for the mistake. So close again, so close to Old Trafford, Wigan, but will St Helens deny them this year? It was Leeds the last 2 years.
Well, last night, Eddie, I said that we'd go. I went for the draw after 80 minutes and it would be a golden point. We haven't had one as yet. And you can't write Wigan off, can you? They need possession.
They need the mistake, but St Helens, they will just clamp the ball, surely. There'll be no silliness from St Helens here.
Well, you wouldn't expect it, but then again, you always expect the unexpected, don't you, from the Saints outfit? But I think on this occasion, Mick Potter, he'll be relying on this man, Kieran Cunningham, to take it nice and steady. Fantastic, fantastic. That will lift the side. No end. Oh, that looked forward.
Long to Wilkin.
He's had a big game, hasn't he?
He has had a big game. That's the last tackle. Wigan are going to get the ball back in a moment, you think? Or will Long go? No. Up it goes in the air. Whoa, the counter charge! Ah! Off the post! Pulatua has it back for Saints. Still the last
He's giving it to
Roberts. A gift.
Why on earth did he just put it and go to ground and say, we've got the football? Now Wigan's got it. And it's a first tackle on it, and you just say to yourself, oh, amazing.
Well, Wigan have got to score from range. Flanagan. Do they have an 80-metre try in them, Wigan, at this late stage of the match and of the season? Harrison Hansen. Riddell. Luluai. Dab over the top. It's bounced up for Sam Tompkins. Play on. Richards.
Oh, it's going to go back to the wire. It's back to 6.
Here is Joel Tompkins. Oh, and that is Sean Long.
He's going with a touch there. Tompkins says, well, the tackle was completed. Surely, it smells all wrong. I can't stand it. Imagine what he's feeling, Brian Noble. But Wellens has come to the rescue yet again. What a second half this guy's had. Joel Tompkins, there's no doubt that the foot is hit the line. And he's saying that the tackle had been completed. He probably agrees with him. He's been dragged. It should have been a penalty. Oh, it was sensational. It just had that ricochet off Wellens. That meant he went back to the 6. Ganson's had a good game. He's been up with it all the way through.
It's not over yet.
Okay.
2.5 minutes.
I've got to
It is
say,
not over yet.
I think that's a tough call. I think that's a really tough call on Joel Tompkins there. I think the tackle's completed. I've got to say that I think St Helens have used a lifeline there in many respects.
Well, the momentum had stopped. I agree with you there on that.
And Long just plonked the foot and dragged the leg over the line.
Stand up. Go.
It's Cunningham to Gilmore. Here it is again. There, tackle completed.
Yeah, I think it is. It is a tough call.
Well, it's a tough call for Brian Noble. It's a tough call for Wigan, but St Helens will not be complaining. And Long, just outside the 40. Now then, Wigan, this is it. This is the last throw of the dice. They'll get one set of 6. We've had some memorable moments on this ground, haven't we, in playoffs? Are we going to get another? Not yet. Riddell. Gleeson. It's Joel Tompkins again, but the St Helens defence that's been magnificent all night is magnificent again. Richards. Just lost his way a moment then. Wigan were just standing. Brian Noble looks to check the big screen and the time ticking down. Riddell. That's the last. It's got to be up in the air and kick and chase and hope. Surely. Over the top by Tompkins. Blast out of the air by Gidley. And it looks now like St Helens are on the way to a 4th grand final in a row. Wellens.
You can afford to run the clock down now, Eddie. They can just run it down. The only thing they're going to have to be concerned about is a one-on-one steal. That's what Wigan will have to look for now, is try to get the player one-on-one and try to steal the ball. It's the only way they can get it back now.
This is Leon Price. 20 seconds remaining. 2 tackles, this set of 6 for St Helens. Wilkin. Big effort from Wigan. Massive effort from St Helens.
Got a fine touch.
Counting down. Long will run the ball over the line. St Helens are back at Old Trafford. It's the 3rd year in a row that we will see Leeds and Saints, the top 2, in the Engage Super League tangle for the biggest prize of them all. But Wigan went so close, and they are absolutely out on their knees. A magnificent semi-final. Absolutely magnificent. And St Helens, Sean, their defence, well, that really did that deserved to get them to Old Trafford. John Wilkin is the man of the match, and look at the state of him. He's with Bill.
John, congratulations on a man of the match performance. Saints renowned for the flair, but this was all about guts and defence, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the game this year's changed. You know, I think Saints, we used to rely on quick play of the balls, and we used to rely on the speed of the game to sort of win his games, but with the different interpretations of the rules, I think you've got to evolve, and all champion teams evolve, and hopefully we've done enough to change our style to do well tonight and last week. But we've got to credit Wigan. It was a great game. I'm sure the fans enjoyed it, and I may have got man of the match here, but you can't look past people like James Graham. James Graham's got the top meters in the league. He's been the best player in the league by a mile. He's got to be up there for man of steel, and also it's without disrespecting the people in the dream team, James Graham should, in my opinion, be in there first choice. But a great game tonight, and we're just pleased to be in the final.
You kind of felt comfortable until that hooter sounded.
No, I mean, what a great try from Pat Richards. I think we was always aware that got opportunist sort of players, with Tompkins playing the way he does and Luluai, and we're just happy to ride it out, and very fortunate in some ways to get the result. It shows you how the moments in a game define whether you win or lose. You look at the tackle on Sean Long where he's put Tompkins' foot in touch. Things like that are probably what they're not talking about that in the commentary box, but those are the things which win us games and win your big games.
John, well done, man of the match performance. Champagne and £100 for a charity of your choice. Where's that going to go?
Yeah, go to the Stroke Association.
Well done tonight.
Man of the match performance. John Wilkin underestimates us. We were talking about that tackle from Sean Long that put Joel Tompkins into touch. And Sean Long, he has played a full part in his farewell appearance at Nosey Road, and he will bring the curtain down on his St Helens career at Old Trafford. This is the moment that we were all talking about.
Unbelievable, wasn't it? And I really think it was a tough call, because Tompkins, he looked at the touch judge, he said, "You're kidding." I'd stopped, and then he pulled him over. It could have been a penalty, and maybe it should have been a penalty. Either way, a tremendous game.
Sean Long did the same, Eddie, don't forget, in the first half to deny Pat Richards in the diagonally opposite corner. Try saver there, try saver again by the officials' view. He's played pretty well, but there was some pretty good performances, I thought, from the Wigan side as well.
Well, is that a farewell handshake to all his players from Brian Noble? He wants to talk to each and every one of them. Bill is tracking him all over the field. Bill, what are they saying? Can you hear him?
Well, Brian Noble wanting to congratulate all of his players on this fantastic performance right in front of the Wigan supporters. Brian, can we grab a quick word with you? He's just got to congratulate his captain, who he said on Sky Sports he reckoned has been his player of the season. Another monumental performance from his Wigan side. Just agonisingly short.
This much with Joel's touchline, I think would have scored there, and really proud of the players. They've given everything this year and shown what a top side they are, and on any other given day they win this game. But it wasn't to be, but they kept in there, didn't they?
Another agonisingly close one was Sean Long's try, and I mean we
can look at those things, and Fecker said he was short and he kept it up and things like that. It's a game of so many close calls tonight, isn't it? A couple of calls in the first half that went against us that gave them that field position. I feel desperately unhappy for the players, because I thought they deserved more.
Brian, you've had to go through the playoffs with all the speculation about your future and what's going to happen to you. Can you tell us tonight what is going to happen?
Yeah, I'm not going to be at Wigan, which is disappointing for, from the player. I've not told the players. I've kept that away from them, but I've known for a week now. I met Ian Lenigan a week ago, and we agreed that perhaps a change was the best, and that's the way it's going to be. But that's just easy to take that away from me. About the players tonight, I thought they were awesome.
Thank you, Brian.
Clear.
Well, there you are. You've heard it from Brian Noble himself. He is not going to be at Wigan next year. Where will he be, and who will be in charge of the Wigan Warriors? Well, he's got to within 80 minutes of a grand final for the last 3 years. He's got to within a Challenge Cup final twice, 80 minutes, but not to be. And he won't be going to Old Trafford. Well, he might be. He'll be going as a spectator. But we are going to Warrington tomorrow for the Cooperative Championship, the Championship 1 Grand Final. Keighley Oldham 3-on-3, and Barrow Halifax 5 on 3. And next Saturday, it's Leeds St Helens again at Old Trafford, 5:30, Sky Sports 1, HD1. Fantastic game, and Brian Noble leaves Wigan with his head held high. Good night.
More sport, news and views at skysports.com.